As a church leader, your time and resources are limited. It's difficult to find discipleship and Bible study materials that are affordable, easily accessible, and high quality. But there is a way to equip the people in your church every day of the week without losing sleep. Welcome to Right Now Media, the world's largest library of video-driven Bible study resources, used by more than 20,000 churches, schools, and organizations. With a Right Now Media subscription, everyone in your church can access thousands of biblical resources for kids, couples, small groups, and more. Give your members access to great content, anytime, anywhere, on any device.
And God specifically says, the way you think, that's not the same way I think.
Equip and inspire everyone in your church beyond Sunday.
Psalm 23. God has set a table for two, one chair for himself, the king, and the second one, believe it or not, is for you. But of course, the enemy wants a seat at the table too. Anxiety wants a seat, envy wants a seat, worry and frustration want a seat. But don't give the enemy a seat at your table. Look up, go up. You're invited up the mountain of God. Move towards infinite power, splendor, love, and beauty, healing and restoration. When we gaze upon the Almighty, we are changed by the captivation. Empowered to take every thought captive in the battle of the mind. Shame is silenced by his glory, and our future redefined. So draw near to Jesus. The shepherd is good. Our God is faithful. Take the place prepared for you. And don't give the enemy a seat at your table.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Solomon Izang Ashams, and welcome to Solomon's Temple. You're free to call me Uncle Solomon because a lot of people do call me Uncle Solomon here. Even my kids call me Uncle Solomon. And the South Africans, they love to call me Malume. Malume is basically uncle. Thank you so much, and I hope you're doing very well. And hope you're still digging in deep, believing in the Lord, believing the impossible. You know, we live in a time where we need to believe God for the impossible. It's a different thing to sing about God of possibilities, who makes the impossible possible. And it's totally a different thing to walk through it, to be able to experience it. You know, and that's the richness of God. That's where he wants us to be as we walk with him. So I hope you would continue to do that. Please, if you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel yet, may I encourage you to please subscribe to Solomon's Temple right away. Please subscribe. If you are watching on YouTube, please do. If you're watching on Facebook, can you hop over to YouTube and please subscribe? And also, when you watch my videos, please do not skip the adverts. You know, there are a lot of videos that you could watch. There are varieties of videos. So please don't just watch. If you continue to indulge, the videos, different topics, and I hope that you would find something there that would encourage your faith, challenge your faith, provoke your faith, or inspire your faith. Thank you, everybody who is here. Peaches, she's saying, good morning, everyone watching from the Caribbean. Yes, of course, if you're in the Caribbean, that's definitely morning. Thank you, Gladstone. Malaya, watching from Great Britain. Good to have you here. Pearl, I see you. Cheryl, thank you for joining. Great to have you. Anna, Patricia, good to have you here. Chief Fine Babe says, coronavirus wouldn't let me have a time to join live. Wow. No worries. You're doing a good job. Keep helping people out there in the US. Lucas, Namibia, thank you. Adolphin also from Namibia. Agnes from Clackstop, great to have you here. Anna, good to have you here. Evangelist Anita Prosper from Nigeria, great to have you here. Matseleng, Takani, I see you. Great to have you. Shamaine, Victor, Evelyn, you're actually the first all the way from Switzerland. DJ Krikion, Jamaican watching from Amsterdam, that is in the Netherlands. Good to have you here. Christina Paletza, and just every other person. Jenny Mutembu watching from Melbourne, the state of Victoria in Australia. Good to have you here. Mokatwa from where? Ethiopia. Good to have you. Blessing from also from the US, New Jersey. So I want to talk about an item that I had followed for a while, even though I was never really close to the case. When this case, this issue became very intense before it became public, before it went to court and all that, I was actually called and told about this incident. And I think I spoke to one or two of the victims actually. That was a couple of years ago in just outside Pretoria in a place called Bronkhorstspruit, outside Pretoria here in South Africa. It's a case of a pastor who has been abusing women in so many different ways, you know, and he was like a local champion there, and he was very excessive, if there's a word like that with sin anyway. Sin, whether it's little, whether it's much, is still excessive, you know, when you put it side by side with the way that God has called us to live, which is the way of righteousness, the path of righteousness to follow. And I followed that case, and once he got to court, then, you know, I knew, you know, that's a good one. This will run its course. And it's been going on for years. I've been following. The location, the Bronkhorstspruit, is just a, you know, a small town just outside Johannesburg, Pretoria, maybe about an hour or so, or a little more from Johannesburg. It's like a farming community, and that's the place that this pastor, you know, pitched his tent and began this devastative, you know, way of treating women in so many different ways. So I will now just take you through step by step, basically, with some of the stuff that I got here from even news items. So he's a Congolese pastor. He said he's a Congolese pastor, and he got 37 years in prison for, you see it there, and also for illegally living in South Africa. So he didn't just do what he did to women, several women, about 5 of them that came forward. I'm sure there are more than 5 of them. Other may be maybe just ashamed to come out, or they were threatened not to come out, or they were paid not to come out. So about 5 of them, this Congolese pastor, he was having a field day, and to top that up, he was in the country illegally. How can you be a pastor and have an illegal status? Your permanent residency, which for you guys Americans, which is like your green card, was fake. So everything about him was fake. He's a fake pastor. He has a fake status in the country. And to be honest with you, I put my eye, the first time I heard about him, and even until now, I came closer and I said, but this guy is all fake. They said he's Congolese, but then part of his name is very Nigerian. I'm not sure Congolese have a name called Emeka. If you're Congolese, please clarify that. Do you have a name as part of, from different languages in Lingala or any other languages that you have in Congo that has a name, you have a name called Emeka, which is an Igbo name in Nigeria. So that left me wondering, is this guy a Congolese trying to masquerade as a Nigerian? Because I've seen people do that. In South Africa, sadly, when you see any pastor is in scandal, when he's somebody who's a drug dealer, they just conclude that they're Nigerians. To be honest with you, it's sad, but that's just a stereotype that we have here in South Africa. Because obviously, quite a lot of Nigerians also do that kind of business. I'll talk about that a little bit, but let me show you his picture. This is the man. For me, he looks extremely very Congolese. From the shape of his head to his cheekbone, you could see even from the way that he dressed. Yeah, you can say he's Igbo, but if you know Congolese, I know Congolese, I've lived with Congolese, I've interacted with Congolese very much in the last 20 years. You sort of like have an idea. So this is him in court. This is his court appearance. You can see that the court was packed. This was in one of his appearances, even way before the COVID-19 came around, because this issue has been going on for a long time. So let's go through the story, right? He said he's a Congolese pastor. Yeah, he said he's a Congolese pastor with the name of his church is called God is Love Ministry. Oh, Jesus. God is Love Ministry. That's what he called his ministry, his church. I think sometimes when you want to sin, you should be ashamed of it. You should try to even hide it. But you're running a very deceptive and manipulative place that you use to violate women, and then you're putting the name out there as God is Love Ministry. Ah, come on. So he was sentenced to 37 years in jail. That was yesterday. For multiple offenses. So many offenses, including what he did to women. Now, here is the name of the pastor. He said he calls himself Bafomba Willie Emeka. Now, this guy is just, everything about him is just fake. You're not sure. If you're Congolese, please clarify that. His last name is Emeka. I don't see any way that he was connected to Nigeria. So please clarify that, guys. If you're sure that you have names like Emeka in South Africa, in Congo, please clarify that. I want to know, because it's just confusing. It's either he's using that name to masquerade as a Nigerian, or he is Nigerian and then using Congolese. But it's very clear that he's not Nigerian. That he's not Nigerian from the way that you see him look, and also from the investigation of the police and everybody. They discovered he's actually Congolese. But then he has a name. He carries a name called Emeka. Where did the name come from? Oh, there we go. Angie Peter is also originally Congolese. He said no Emeka in Congo in any tribe, Solomon. Angie, by the way, is Congolese. So she has authority to say that. And there's also Alice. Alice said, no, there is no Nigerian name in Congo, or the other way around. Chiku says, even Bushiri, some people think is Nigerian. There was another comment here. Yeah. It's a funny, very funny combination of names. Indeed. And that's how some of these criminally minded people who masquerade as pastors, that's what they do. They don't even know how to do it without getting caught. They should get caught anyway. They deserve it. Is his family, part of his family, Nigerian? Wow. As you can see, the police and the authorities kept saying he's Congolese. So they discovered that he's actually, everything about him is Congolese. But my question is, how did he acquire a Nigerian name? Is it a nickname? Let's just go through the story quickly. So he said his name is Bafomba Willie Emeka. So he was convicted last week, last week. That was on Friday, of 19 counts of what he did to women. 3 counts, you see it? Illegally living in the country and possessing a fake permanent residence permit. You can see it. So much, so many. He goes on to say that five women, this is what he did to 5 women who were members of his congregation between 2015 and 2018 in and around Broke Spread. One of Emeka's victims also looked after his children. So one of his victims was actually his nanny, helper, house girl, or whatever. And how does he do that? How did he convince them? This is how he convinced them. First, he will tell them, he told them they had problems and he needed to pray for them and bless them to help them. So when he said he needed to pray for them, that's where he now forces himself on them. And how did that happen again? Emeka now told a woman babysitting his children that she would not conceive a child if she didn't sleep with him. Can you see how they brainwashed them? That she would not conceive a child if she did not sleep with him. Different ways they use to get to this woman. First, there's brainwash, and then there's this just high level of hypnotizing them. And then there's threats sometimes, there are lies. Remember, some of these people are very spiritual and they believe these men of God. And some of them are very desperate and they needed prayer. So these fake pastors like this guy called Emeka, they ride on that. And I'm so glad that he got what he deserved, 37 years in prison. He's 48 right now, I'm speaking to you. He's 48 years of age. So he was sentenced to 37. So minimally, he needs to serve half of that, which is probably going to be about 17 years or 18 years before he gets parole. How old will he be then? Approaching 70. He threw his life away. by destroying the lives of other innocent, vulnerable women. It's sad. In all of it is sad. And we're seeing that more and more, but the good thing is we're seeing more and more conviction of people like this guy who masqueraded as a pastor, taking advantage of a woman, having an illegal permit in the country. If he wasn't caught, he probably would have gotten his citizenship already. Because remember, this happened like 5 years ago. So it's good to see that this is happening. And I hope that we're going to see this across Africa, where these people are being prosecuted. They're being arrested and being prosecuted. It's important, especially in a country like Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, Zambia, Namibia, Zimbabwe, quite a lot of charlatans there. We need to make sure we keep pushing. It's sad. So I just wanted to share this with you. Some of you guys, I'm sure you don't know about the story, but also for you to understand that God is doing something. And God is tired of these people who are in church. Judgment is coming. It's here. And it's going to rain on them if they do not repent. Even if they repent, they have to face justice. It's important. It's important. They've given the church a bad name. They've made it difficult for other pastors who are really serving God honestly to operate. They're making it difficult for the gospel to be shared, but God is still God. In spite of the obstacles that they have created for the gospel and for the church, because of their greed and their lust, God will still make a way for the gospel to be shared. So let's keep praying and let's keep doing that. Let's keep exposing this. Let's keep, if you know some of them, expose them, put them out there. Thank you, guys. Just wanted to give you some sort of update on that. So please, I'll be back here at 8 p.m. South African time, which is going to be about 4 hours from now. So let's catch again right there. Thank you so much for watching. May the Lord bless you and keep you. Catch you later.
Masinya Attorneys Incorporated, a boutique commercial and taxation law firm in Midrand, Johannesburg, South Africa. Strategic lawyers on point with more than 20 years of practice experience. We are professional, capable, and qualified.